based on their pedigree, year of experience, competence, and professional integrity. Mr. President, these highly accomplished men and women with proven records of performance in their careers, which cut across various sectors of our national life, have accepted the honor to serve their country because they share in your vision of better, more inclusive, and more prosperous Nigeria. Mr. President, you have pedigree when it comes to revenue transformation. You demonstrated this when you were the governor of Lagos State over 20 years ago. Your remarkable achievements during the period not only set the path for the future revenue improvement in Lagos State, but it also became the reference point for other states across the country. Nigeria have great confidence that under your visionary leadership, our country will overcome its unpalatable revenue problem. Nigeria has huge potential for revenue mobilization that should be sufficient to cater for our people without resorting to excessive borrowing, which often crowd out the private sector and limit our ability to finance sustainable development, create jobs, and prosperity for Nigeria. From our engagement with various stakeholders so far, the message has been clear, and we recognize the sense of urgency to address the various tax and fiscal impediment facing businesses, both large and small. We are grateful to Mr. President for assenting to the executive orders in July, which provided reliefs to individuals and businesses. The Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, being inaugurated today, will give us the opportunity to further engage with various stakeholders to identify their pain points and critical concerns bordering on tax and fiscal policies, and to collectively develop the solutions necessary to address these challenges in a holistic manner. We appreciate you, Mr. President, for all the support you've given to us thus far. I want to assure you, sir, that this committee will deliver on its mandate. On the account of the work the committee set out to do, our business's environment will become more conducive for local and foreign investments, wealth will be created, and our country will be better for it. Thank you very much, sir.
I am glad to witness this day, and I wish to express my gratitude to Mr. President for entrusting me, along with other eminent Nigerians, with the privilege of serving our nation in this capacity. I also want to acknowledge the invaluable support from all quarters of our society, the organized private sector, professional bodies, the media, international community, and the public since I was announced as the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. The task before us is substantial, yet pivotal. Our fiscal policies could benefit from better crafting, grounded in data and evidence, ensuring coherence and consistency. We need enhanced alignment with the modern economy and better coordination with monetary and other policies. Many of our existing laws are outdated, hence they require comprehensive updates to achieve harmonization and address multiplicity of taxes, remove the burden on the poor and vulnerable, while addressing the concerns of all investors, big and small. Our tax administration has improved, but remains relatively basic, with instances of unregulated collections by untrained officers, particularly at the local government level, being widespread. Our revenue generation falls below even African standards, yet our collection costs are among the highest. This is due not only to multiple taxes, but also numerous collection agencies and fragmented revenue reporting procedures. public willingness to pay taxes is strained because of lack of trust in government, both among individuals and businesses, irrespective of size. The burden of tax falls heavily on those who comply, while those who evade often get away with little or no consequences. We need to change that. The process of resolving tax disputes is protracted and costly, with inadequate mechanism for many small businesses and vulnerable individuals to seek fair tax resolution, as professional services are often beyond their means. Although these challenges may seem daunting, they also represent a unique opportunity for us to create a positive impact. We have the chance to revamp our tax policies for a more equitable system, modernize our laws to be adaptive and forward-looking, revitalize our revenue administration, enhance transparency in revenue reporting, and exercise more prudence in our spending. These challenges further provide a platform for us to mobilize revenue without introducing additional tax burdens, and we can respond swiftly to our most pressing needs, including measures to ease the impact of rising prices, reduce pressure on the naira, and amend the laws to encourage remote work opportunities and foster job growth in the digital economy, especially for our teeming youth. We must be committed to establishing a conducive policy environment to attract global and local businesses and position our nation as a hub for research and development, technology and innovation, headquarters location, financial and shared services center for the continent. Our approach will be comprehensive and long-term focused, addressing fiscal concerns related to sustainable development goals as well as multidimensional poverty, ensuring responsible energy transition, and a coordinated strategy to elevate revenue reporting and quality of spending. Empirical data affirms that Nigerians are willing to fulfill their tax obligations when they see meaningful returns on their tax contributions. We must therefore be intentional in renewing the social contract and, more importantly, act in the best interest of our nation. The pathway to shaping the future begins with the choices we make today. I am grateful to Mr. President for the opportunity to participate in this journey and humbled by the chance to serve. And I believe that I speak also for every member of the committee. Collectively, Mr. President, we promise to do our best. With support from the people and God on our side, we know that we will succeed. Thank you for listening to me, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is with great honor and gratitude that I stand before you today representing the Nigerian University Tax Club in this wonderful occasion. I would like to first thank the President for this wonderful opportunity given to Mr. Taiwo Oyedele. We are certain that his visionary leadership will lead the country to where it wants to be. I would also like to commend other members of the Tax Reform Committee for their service to the public and their move to making this country a better place. To other citizens of Nigeria, I would like to say thank you to everyone for their support thus far to Nigeria, and I would like to assure them that this country will be where we want it to be with our collective efforts. Thank you all once again for your continued support.
Today marks another milestone in our quest to reform our economy and re-engineer the finances of our country for the optimum performance. Since we get into office in the last few months, we have taken steps to reset and revamp the economy. My first action was the removal of subsidy. it was pushing the country off fiscal balance. The second was to put an end to the misappropriation of nations' wealth through preferential foreign exchange system. It's a cesspool of corruption. While we needed to take these important decisions immediately, we knew also that further reforms would be needed if we are to reposition this country and remove the barriers and bottleneck stunting our economic growth. Our administration carries the burden of expectation of the Nigerian people who want their government to make a life much better and easier. We campaigned on a promise of a better country anchored on our renewed hope agenda. I am determined to fulfill that promise, and so I have committed myself to work tirelessly to improve the quality of life of our people. It must be said, however, that all goods and helpful plans we have mapped out to make living a better experience for Nigerians will amount to nothing if we are unable to derive the resources necessary to bring them to reality. A government can only function well when it can reasonably discharge its responsibilities to the people. A sound fiscal policy, environment, and a fit-for-purpose tax system are critical for the effective functioning of government and the economy. Without revenue, government cannot provide adequate social services to the people it is entrusted to serve. Yet, the means by which government raises its revenue is just as important as the end to which such monies are put. Unfortunately, Nigeria's current international standing in the sector shows that we have a long way to go. Globally, Nigeria ranks very low on metrics such as the ease of paying taxes, ease of doing business. Equally, our tax to GDP ratio is one of the lowest in the world and falls below even the African average. The consequences of ongoing failure of our tax regime are real and significant. The inability of government to efficiently raise revenue has led directly to an over-reliance on borrowing to finance public spending. A government that cannot properly fund itself will also lack the flexibility or physical scope to sensibly manage the economy or respond to external shocks. Instead, debt service begins to consume an ever greater portion of government already meager revenues. This trap the economy in a vicious cycle of borrowing simply to service previous debt and leaves almost no scope for socio-economic development. As president, I am determined to end this cycle. On the day of my inauguration, I promise that my administration will address all the issues impeding investment and economic growth in Nigeria. This promise is why I saw an end to the fuel subsidy. It is the reason the central bank has called an end to its multiple exchange rate system. It won't happen under my watch. It's for this same reason we gather here today to inaugurate the presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. Thank you, Mr. Oyedele, for accepting this assignment. The committee has been established to address the broad physical challenges facing our economy. Its mandate shall be divided into 3 broad areas. These are: 1. Fiscal governance. B. Tax reforms. And 3rd, growth facilitation. Within the scope of this mandate, the committee shall, as its objective, the advancement of viable and cost-effective solutions to issues such as multiplicity of revenue collection agencies, the high cost of revenue administration, the excessive burden of compliance on ordinary taxpayers, the lack of effective coordination between fiscal and other economic policies within and across levels of government, and poor accountability in the utilization of our tax revenue. The committee is comprised of experts from both private and public sector. I have given them a strong mandate, and I expect their report to cover tax reform, fiscal policy design and coordination, harmonization of taxes, and revenue administration, among other items. Our target is to improve Nigeria's revenue profile while making the business environment more conducive and internationally competitive. Our aim is to transform the tax system to support sustainable development, while at the same time achieving a minimum of 18% tax to GDP ratio within the next 3 years. In order to ensure seamless implementation, the committee shall be empowered not merely to make recommendations, but also provide practical support and support the government in the execution and delivery of the recommended changes. The committee is expected to achieve its mandate within a period of 1 year. They are, in the first instance, expected to deliver a schedule of quick reforms which can be implemented within 30 days. Critical reform measures should be recommended within 6 months, and full implementation will take place within 1 calendar year. In carrying out this mandate, the committee will be guided by national interest above all else. We cannot continue to tax the poor party when we should be promoting prosperity. We should no longer tax investment or production, but focus on returns, incomes, and consumption. This government will tax the fruit, but not the seeds. Our goal is to promote investment and facilitate economic growth as a sustainable way to grow and diversify government revenue. We will be mindful to ensure fiscal stability for all stakeholders, including investors and businesses, both domestic and foreign, as well as all tiers of government. All government agencies, ministries, departments are hereby directed to cooperate fully with the committee towards achieving their mandate. Finally, I wish to use this opportunity to seek the support of the National Assembly, the organized private sector, the international community, and above all, every well-meaning Nigerian citizen, if you are truly a citizen. This committee is on a crucial national assignment. The assignment is very critical to the physical health of our country and our collective survival. It is now our job to support the committee members to succeed. I am confident that with your support, the committee will achieve a remarkable outcome for our country. We know them. They are competent, qualified, and reliable. Your taxes is not just for today, but you see the future. And the young lady that addressed us, I assure you, your future is assured. God bless you.